Hey guys, before I get into this video, which I'm sure you can all work out by the title, I wanted to just let you guys know why I haven't posted for a while. So from Christmas to New Year, I decided to take a break and focus on a few other things. And when I got back to preparing for my next video on plastics, I decided to change and make a video on this issue instead. Now heads up, I won't be able to post any more videos after this until my next term break because of schooling. And I might not get the next video out on plastic because I'm trying to prepare more for my driver's license test, which I'll be taking very soon. Yay. But I'm sure you guys have had enough of my rambling, so on to the video. So like I said before, this is going to be a special video not talking about plastics, but instead I'm going to talk about this. Australia is burning, and I decided to make a video about it to help support fundraisers and raise awareness of this devastating fact. The reality is that Australia is quite literally on fire, and we as a nation need to help putting out these fires. I decided to make a video about this major issue because it's closely related to the channel's main problem, which is our dying planet, and my last video on global warming, and more specifically in this case climate change. The fire started in around September last year in Queensland and New South Wales. The last month, December, was the hottest ever recorded in Australian history. These are approximately all the fires in Australia currently. The first two images were taken from 3D images from NASA satellites and posted on the Lebanese Australian, an account on Facebook. Now, if you pause the video, you would have seen that not all the fires in the first two images are still burning. However, the last image, it shows a map of Australia with the most recent updates as to where all the fires are located and are still going. All of the south coast is currently under threat and is in the worst condition. Parts of Australia have hit a whopping 48 degrees, and this is apparently the hottest temperature ever recorded in particular places. The fires have now spread from around Sydney to Victoria. More than 10 of these are at an emergency level, and more than half are currently burning fires out of control. A majority of the emergency fires that are burning are situated along the New South Wales south and east coast. The fires in Australia, totaled up, have already reached more than 9 times the size of 2018's California's fires. Robertson Road, Bald Hill Road, Killeria was recorded on fire, and places like Jindabyne are either on fire or danger zones, and the reasons I have put these in are because along with the emergency level fires along the south coast are all emitting enormous amounts of smoke, which are reaching Frankston from 6 to 10 hours away, which is where I live, and New Zealand and even Chile, which is across the Pacific Ocean, around 10,000 kilometers away. The reason I'm pointing this out is because it isn't just affecting Australia anymore, it is affecting everything and everyone around us. In fact, the smoke in Australia, which is obviously where it's the worst, is at a hazardous level, and in places like Melbourne, Victoria, the rating of our air quality has dropped to the worst in the world in only a matter of months. In fact, it's so smoky and hazy that seeing when driving and breathing the air in certain places have become nearly impossible. The fires have been spreading at an alarming rate, burning through nearly 20 million acres and desolating everything in its path. But what you may not know is how these fires were started. Extreme heat, prolonged drought, and record-breaking temperatures are just some of the reasons why the fires started. However, I believe the main contributor to these fires are global warming, and more specifically, climate change, and here are my reasons why. Now, to begin with, the photo on the screen explains how our Prime Minister refuses to admit that we as humans may have an impact on why the fire started or why they are so bad. Now, I understand there are many people who disagree with the statement I made about climate change being the sole reason for these fires and why it's so bad. And I know that it's a pretty extreme accusation without proof. But the first paragraph in the photo above also states that our country's carbon emissions are up there among the highest in the world. As well, Chris Dickman stated that Australia receives the effects of this global phenomenon known as climate change earlier than the rest of the planet, and therefore it may be a taste or preview of what is still to come for the rest of the planet. Now, before I continue, just to be clear of any of you who did not watch my last video on climate change, in its simplest terms, is the increase or decrease in the Earth's temperature. And it is what ended the Ice Age and will probably end our age. However, this time, unlike before, it's not natural, just dramatically increasing in temperatures, but it is sped up by man-made tools such as coal mines, etc. Now, on top of all I mentioned before this, if you still do not believe me, then take a look at the temperatures in just this country alone. The reason we got record-breaking temperatures each year is because of climate change. The reason the air is so hot and dry and keeps getting hotter and drier is because of climate change. And if you spice this combo up with a bit of a breeze, then you get fire. And what's better to fuel fire than more heat? Now, if you watched my other video, you would have heard me talk about climate change, but this is the reality of its effects. I mentioned the problems it was causing, but I never gave you guys any real-life experiences or problems to show you the effect. Well, Australia is quite literally on fire because of what we are releasing into our atmosphere. When will such chaos end? And when will we as a society and nation realize that we are not only slowly killing their planet, but we are also killing ourselves? Now, I would like to talk to you about Australia's effort to stop these fires from spreading. According to 7 News, the Prime Minister has mobilised 3,000 army reserves to help with the cause, as well as called another 4 water bombers, which are firefighting aircrafts that drop water on top of the regions they fly over that are on fire, in order to assist the multiple planes already in the sky. Such a large and unprecedented call is unheard of in our nation's history. The Army Brigade, as well as supported by Australia's largest naval vessel, the HMAS Adelaide, are all working together to stop the fires from continuing to spread. Even citizens are signing up to help put out these fires. Defence are also opening up all their bases nationwide in order to house the many people who have lost their homes to this horrible catastrophic event. Australia is trying its hardest, but it still needs help, and so it's calling upon people and other close countries such as America to help this nationwide catastrophe. In 2018, California was on fire, much like Australia is now, and Australia decided to assist them, and now America is repaying their debt. They've already sent nearly 200 men to help us and are supporting us with their scientists as well. There are, however, smaller communities and even people that are trying equally hard to help put out these fires, such as the WWF, Red Cross, CFA, and Salvation Army, and people like Andrew Twiggy and Chris Hemsworth have also acquired and donated millions of dollars to help this cause. So far, Australia has received millions, however, it will require more, and that means we all need your support as well, because any amount can and will help, no matter how small. Despite our best efforts, though, we have already suffered greatly. We have lost approximately 28 people so far, and around 40 to 50 more were injured from these fires. Of these people, about 3 were volunteer firefighters, and 25 of which were just regular citizens, all of which were either parents, daughters, sons, and loved ones. Not only humans were affected by this, though, Nearly 30 million hectares of animal habitat and plant life was destroyed. Nearly 400 metric tons of CO2 is being released into the atmosphere and is continuing to do so as I speak. Thousands of homes have been destroyed by the fires. Over 1 billion of Australia's precious native animals have been killed, and even more lost their habitats to these fires. In order to help this cause, please donate to any one of these or all of these fundraisers, because like I said before, anything helps, even if it's just a little. The links can be found in the description below. If you're new to this channel, please subscribe and turn on the bell notifications so you can be up to date when I post my next video on plastics. And if you are interested in anything I have previously said in this video, then you can visit the links in my description or go on to 9 News, which I found incredibly resourceful and up to date. But until my next video, peace.